Hello, welcome back. I'm that fluffy hair guy. Today we're doing something a bit different. Um, I have been working on animations for my game like nonstop for several days. I have a lot of animations to make, but I'm also remaking a bunch of animations to fit better with knowledge that I've picked up about. For like example, I'm doing a run animation right now, pacings of or timings of like the feet and everything. I'll get into that in a second, so you'll know what I mean. So I decided that today we're gonna stream that. Why not? You know, I'm currently maximum invested in it, so hopefully it'll be entertaining, maybe even a little educational for those who don't know how to animate. I'm using Unreal Engine 5 uh, to animate, specifically Unreal Engine 5.7.2, which is the newest version. Um, I think that's everything. Let's go ahead and get started. We are listening to Ozzy Osbourne. That is what is currently playing in my playlist. I actually think it's not on shuffle right now. Oh, it is. Okay, yeah, because we just went to the newest album. So we're gonna have that. Let me know how the volume sounds to you guys, because it might be. I mean, it's loud in my ears, but I have it turned down a lot for you guys. So if it's too quiet, let me know. If it's too loud, let me know, and we'll adjust it. That being said, let's get started. Right now, Straight to Hell is playing. I don't know what side of the screen I'm going to be on. We'll kind of figure it out as I go. For right now, let's go ahead and start on the right side. Just to start. I don't know if it'll stay that way, but for right now, because I have stuff that I'm using up here, there's not really anything here. I use this where I'm at to select what level sequence, which is what you animate in as a sequence player. Well, if you prefer the left side, uh $5. Obviously not really, but uh anyways, I don't know. Anyways, right now I'm just working on the feet. I think I got the feet. So I've reanimated this exact level sequence several times at this point. I'm actually gonna turn my headphones down a little bit. I can't really hear myself over my music. Like, it's quieter for you guys, but it's quite loud in my ears. Um, I've reanimated this several times, and if you want any evidence to that, you can tell the arms aren't very good, and then everything after 60 frames, the upper body just stops because I haven't animated that. I've been trying to figure out how to pace this out. In just a little over a second, I want two steps as a for the run, um, and I finally figured out that I need to have the run be 80 frames long at 60 frames per second. So that's like a minute and a third. Uh, so a minute 20 sec, or not minute third. Sorry, a second 20 second. A second 1.2 seconds is how long it should be, and that allows me to get two steps in. And as you can see, the legs. If I bring this up, if you ignore the torso, if you can, I'm gonna slow it down. The legs, for the most part, are well synced together now. So next thing I'm going to do, which I just finished a little bit ago, but the next thing I'm going to do is work on the up and down, the jump, because like there's a good portion there where the legs are further apart before the front one starts moving back, where you're in the air. So we're going to work on that. I think I have it for the right, because I got to sync it up with both feet. So for the right foot, it needs to be, let's see. No, I was looking at the left foot, sorry, when I initially planned this out. So it needs to be about, because you got to time it with when this foot goes up to, that foot goes up at 20. So from 20 to 30, I think is what I timed this one. 20 to 30 here is up, is the bounce. So we'll go into the here. So if I go to 20 to 30, which means 25 is going to be at the, is the peak. So we'll go ahead. This is the old up and down motion. If I adjust any of those, you can see jiggle, jiggle, you know. Anyways, undo that. I want those to stay the same because I think I'm going to keep it because that's a nice bobble. I might adjust the up a little bit so it doesn't bump as too much, but so from 20, what did I say? 25 is going to be the peak here. So we'll just, I only want to work with the Z axis. If you don't, I found this out so many times. If you just like copy this and then hit paste, I'll show you what happens. It's going to cooperate. Okay. Usually what happens if you just copy a single node here and paste it. Yeah, that. Um, Obviously that's wrong, but, so there's two options you have. You either click on the track that you want the specific value you're wanting to mess with. So like right now I'm messing with the Z, which is up and down. Z is selected here, or you can just go in here. It's so much easier to do it. So that's up. We're gonna go ahead and delete that key because now 35, because if you remember correctly, 35 is like the step is 10 frames, 30 to 40. So 35 is going to be the middle of that. That's where we're going to be at our lowest. Because you're like kind of adjusting, your knees are, you just landed, so your knees are kind of counteracting that. So we'll go in here again in the Z axis there. And then I think that's correct. Yeah, so roughly 10 frames between these two. So that means that this piece, this next up, approximately, is going to be 10 frames ahead. So roughly. So the down here, 35, so 45. Oh, ironically, that's actually right on cue. I don't think that's correct though. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. And then the next down is going to be 55. Right? Yeah, 55. And then once you have several of these done, what you can do is start at the first one that you keyed, highlight all the ones you've keyed. Actually, no, you want to start like with the same key that you're on. So this first down one, and then I can just do that. And then I can do it again here. And then this will be the end of the animation. This is the pose at the end of the animation. You're on your way up. I don't think this foot's left the ground yet. It's literally about to. And once I get the ball rotated and everything, that will be touching the ground again. But for right now, so what we do here is we set this to linear. We put a key there and set it to linear, and then it just goes straight. And then we go back to the beginning, and we copy all of these. Actually, all of these are here. This key and then the next key afterwards. Paste that, and then from 15. Now that should be relatively synced up, I think, if my math is correct, which is usually not. So if we go in here, boom, up, boom, up. Yeah, that looks about synced up to me. It's actually quite nice. I usually am not this. Usually takes a few more attempts. Oh, also, I'm snacking on popcorn right now because hungry, but I'm not like full meal hungry. Yes, I'm using chopsticks. I don't want to get my shit dirty. So it's buttered, so I don't want to mess with that. Let's see here. So the up and down looks good now. And that gives us kind of a thinking here. We'll go back to body control here. Unfortunately, I don't remember where these were keyed into. Let's see here. Ooh! Bitch got fat. All right. Let's see here. I want these two. No, just this one. Okay. I want to see what this one does. Okay. I know what that does now. All right. Now I know how to key that. These two values. Yeah, these two. The down needs to be, because this is like leaning into the step. $30. Used to be at 30. That's when I want that to meet. Oh, it is. No, wait. I want this one at 30 because this is, yeah, this one needs to be at 30. Cut that. Paste it here. And then this one, the down, needs to be 10. That was the X in the pitch. Needs to be at 10 frames. I'll delete this one here because that's incorrect. So now oops. 50 is when the next down is gonna, or the next up is, wait, no, 50 is when the next down is gonna be. By down, I mean the yellow bar, this one being down. That's the one, because that's the lean left and right. So the next one's gonna be, that doesn't look right. Oh wait, no. Next up is gonna be, green is up. There. And I think 65? 70. 70 is the next. And then if I go whoop, X and pitch, this one, the down. So, and then I can go like this. Got one full cycle. Paste, and then I can clip these here. Set them to vertical, which is hotkey 4. And then I can paste them to the beginning. And then delete the ones at the back. And then we'll have the body control cycle complete. Luckily, it's kind of funny. There looks like, yeah, the X and the rotation is not zeroed out, but the X is zeroed here. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it is zeroed. So now, if we go in, well, it's always nice to look after you've done this, because as it loops, I'll set it to 25. That's usually what I watch it. It's a good medium pace. You can see if anything hitches, which just means that one of the two, either the start or the beginning, aren't at the same key. They always have to be. So either that, it doesn't look like anything that we have so far hitches. I mean, obviously the rest of the torso up top doesn't go after frame 60, but that's okay. And then we'll watch it again at full speed just to make sure that we're watching from the back, because this is where we're going to mostly view it, because this is where the camera is when you're in game, is like somewhere around here. Okay, that looks decent. Also, it's kind of hard to, get an estimate of how everything's going to be um, until you're done, right? So we'll just work our way up. I don't think I have anything here. Oh, I should do the hips. I don't think the hips are done properly. Yeah, no, they're not. Not even close. Okay. So let's see. Left leg goes forward. What was it? 20, 25? No, 30. I'm second guessing myself. I've redone this with so many different uh key or frame combinations that I'm like, I can't remember what the hell I was gonna do. Because like I've done this at 60 frames, I've done this at 75 frames, I've done this at, I think at one point I did at 90 frames. So like trying to time all that out wasn't great. So at 30 frames is where this is going to be. And since I'm keying multiple lines, I can just copy and paste all of them. It doesn't affect it too much. And then that means that, what was it? Frame 10? 10. Frame 10 is where the right leg forward is going to be. Paste. Here. $50 is another. Go ahead and delete these. And we'll go ahead and actually just cut these as well. We'll cut paste these. So then it deletes the keys. Easier. That looks about timed up. And then the next step, which is this leg forward, is at 70, which is this one. I didn't want to cut. Oops. There we go. And then again, we have a full cycle done. So we'll go ahead and do this. Actually, technically, we have more than a full cycle. We'll start here and go to there. Just copy and paste the whole thing. No, we don't need that much. We'll just do these ones. Copy, paste. And then that allows us to get our key here. All those. Press 4 to linear. And then copy, paste. That does line up well. So we know we're doing it right for the most part. And the stomach down should be mostly done on this animation. Again, it's kind of hard to tell with the torso being so messed up. He just kind of gives up halfway through and he does not know how to time himself well. But the hips look right. Slow it down again. Okay. Okay. And then we'll go to, I think it's this one that has, no, we just did that one. It's this one next, I think. Wait, which one did I missed one, I thought. Yeah, it's this one. Because that's not correct. Though I don't remember what these are keyed to. I want to say they're keyed to, let's see, what does this do? Okay. Don't remember what I keyed these ones to. We'll get back to that. We'll come back to that. This is the chest swing back and forth. Pretty much all this one does. I think it has some slight variance left, like this. And I think back and forth like that. Very slight variance, but let's see. Chest to the fuck is this? This is to the right, so that's almost correct. This needs to be there. Okay. Actually, it was nowhere near correct. This needs to be at 30. We'll leave all of the adjustments the same because once we get all the rest of the keys in place, it's going to make sense. Again, I should like write these down so I remember. 10. It's this one. 10. That's where this is going to go. That would be easy. And I don't do anything easy. And again, we're looking at 50. Just delete those. 50. And then I remember this one being 70. I remember this one being 70. Huh? I thought I highlighted all those. Apparently not. Game's like, no, the fuck you didn't. Yeah, it looks correct. Roughly. And then back to 70. Paste that shit. And then once again, boop, linear. It does look kind of messed up here. That is fine. You won't really notice it unless you're like really studying the animation. In which case, if you know how to fix it, I would love the information because I don't know shit. And then delete all the after keys after 80. Save that. Let's take a look. Make sure, ignore the arms. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, now we'll do the arms. We'll do the upper arms first, because these are the ones driving most of it. I remember this one being at 10. So this here, or no, this is at 10. Right? Yes. This is at 10. 10. No, wait, hold on. Did I do this backwards? No, that's correct. 50. 50. This key here is going to be at 30. I know that. Then this can get deleted here. Then I can take this. There we go. Linear. Copy. Back to the beginning. Okay. That looks good. Save that shit. And then we'll watch that. The forearm's going to be off. But the shoulder bounce is also off, but that's okay. But this swing looks right. Yeah, that looks about right. Let's look from the side, actually. It is lagging behind on the way back a little bit. So this key, let's go to this foot here. This is the foot that it's synced with, right? Actually, with the arm, should be 45, 20, 45. Okay, hold on a second. This should be at 45. And then okay. It's a good thing I watched because I wouldn't have recognized that. Okay, that's correct. And then we take a look at the front here. I think this should be synced with, yeah, the furthest point, which then would be 6. Yeah, frame 6. Why is that 6? That should be 5. Yeah, that should be this. This is in the right spot. This key got moved over somehow. Let's go ahead and skip this one. Soul Sucker is a good one. Let's see here. This foot, just the Y. Cut that one. Paste it at frame 5, and then 5 frames after the end, just to make sure that our key here is accurate. 4. That looks right. Okay. Oh. All right, and then the forward motion on this arm needs to be keyed up to the 5 here. So this needs to be keyed to 5. And then again to 60. And then we'll copy this. It doesn't look very even. I mean, it kind of does. One motion, it goes back a little uneven, but that's okay. Four. Since we already have the key at the beginning, we don't need to. Why does that look wrong? Oh, because this is weighted tangents. It's because all these are weighted tangents. All right, we're going to go to 3, which is a break, which break just means that. So as you saw just a second ago, if I go back to user, if I adjust this one side, it counter adjusts the other side automatically. You set it to break, which I only want this one and these two. You can adjust each side individually. So like here, I can bring the weighted tangent back so that this is a smooth start. Like so. There we go. And then it's slower on the way back and then fast. Granted, slow, relatively speaking, because you gotta remember this is like 1 second. So it's gonna be this fast in game. That looks interesting. We'll get the other arm done and see if I want to adjust this because I might do something to it. I don't know what, but I'll do something to it. Actually, what I might do is sync this up to 65. I'm gonna adjust this over 5 frames. That's all. And then this one over to 25. Because that's kind of, I mean, the arm's still, the leg is still quite a ways back, right? So that should even that out. And then I can go, boop, get all these, and then go to frame 65, paste. And then again, should re-enable me to do this. 4 for linear. First one's still 5 frames in. Yeah, that should work. And then I'll delete this. And since we already adjusted the first section to accommodate the linear node or linear key, we should be good to go. That should look more even. It's not like he's rushing his arm back all of a sudden. Doesn't help that the forearm is messing up how that looks. It looks like he's jamming his arm back still, but he's definitely, if you watch isolate just the shoulder, it's very even. That looks good. I like that. Okay. Now we'll do the forearm. Forearm is paste. I think it's 5 frames after. So like the peak here, which it's just one angle. So actually we can go in and make sure that we're only doing one angle. I can paste this here and then go to frame 25 to 30. And that's going to be this. Oops. Another mistake. I do that so often. I'm like desensitized to that now. So I do that all the damn time. Frequently because I forget to key back in. So 50 is the next one. And the only reason why it does this is because it kind of makes it look like your arms go slack on the way back, and it just adds a little bit more dynamics to it. Like your forearms trying to catch up with your upper arm. I couldn't think of the name. Back to the delete this key, and then I can copy paste all this. Paste, and then we'll get a key here. Linear, we'll copy paste all these because I couldn't remember where I started. Boom. There we go. And then that should get that arm done. We'll have to do the hand too. That's a little bit more complicated. So we'll wait on that. But now, yeah, just adds a little bit more. You can see the hands are way off, but we'll get to that. We'll get the other arm first, and then we'll do the shoulders. Then we'll come back to the hand. So now we got to time this one with the other foot. So the first one is, wait, is it just the same timings? This is where the lowest point is 5. All right. Yeah. 5 after. That's what we did there, right? On this side. I think that's what we did on this side. Yep. Okay. Looks like we're going to be on the same. Oh, yeah, because the legs are timed properly. So, yeah, it'll be the same one. So, again, go here. This will be the up. Delete this key. And then I can just go to the 45. That's going to be down or back. And then, what was it? I don't remember now. There we go. 65 is going to be this. Very much just the inverse of what we did for the other arm. It's that simple. Copy, paste, paste. Linear. And then again, we'll have to adjust this side because it is weighted tangents. We'll just put a break in here so we can adjust that side. So it's 3. There we go. That should work. And then the arms should be... Oh, yeah, we got to do the other lower arm. So this goes to 15? Because we did... Oh, no, it's 10. Make sure we're in pitch. 10. 30. Looks fine to me. Where is that even? Oh, what the fuck? Anyone that played Code Veronica? Isn't there a type of tyrant that can do this? Like any Resident Evil fans out there play Code Veronica? I feel like there's a tyrant that can do this in that game. Like one of the enemies, I swear. Whiplash, I think is what it's called. I could be wrong, but go ahead and backtrack that. That's funny as fuck. Okay, I didn't realize the hand did that. It's fucking weird. That's weird because the hand's not controlled by this at all. I don't know why the hand's massive. This is just the forearm. Hey, try this again. Delete that key. I think it was 50. Yeah, 50 will be again this. Delete this key. And there, 4. And just to be sure, we're going to copy paste all that just to make sure that the keys are all in the same spot. Because there's been times where like somehow this one got messed up. Like another key got messed up and I didn't notice. So then like the fart in the P were at the wrong spots. Fart and start in the front. Can't talk. So then that's for the most part, the upper body done. Nice casual jog. And then we'll do the hands real quick. The hands are a bit different. The hands, I'm literally just going to delete the keys completely because I have what's called poses, which I think you guys saw. You guys probably saw these here. And these have, it's literally just between 2 poses. If I go here, if I go select controls, you can see it's just 2 poses oscillating back and forth. That's all it is. But I'm just going to delete it just because it's so many nodes. It's kind of hard to remember sometimes, especially when you're copy pasting and then having to delete a specific amount. So it's just easier to do it that way. So we want to time this to the peak of the forearm, or the open fist to be at the peak of the forearm. So left hand open fist, paste that there. Key. I don't know why I didn't want a key there, but anyways, and then we'll go back to here. This is going to be loose fist. I have 2 different fists here, a tight fist and a loose fist. I feel like for a jog, I mean, it's not like going at a brisk pace. You just kind of, loosely dragging your head, says the person that looks like he never jogged a day in his life. But anyways, select the pose, paste pose, and then it should auto key it because it is different. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And then we'll go to 50. Again, closed fist, select pose, paste. And then this we can do. This one's a little bit easier to do this way. 4. And then we'll just copy paste all this just to make sure that it all lines up, which it does. Perfect. And then we'll delete these final keys. And now the fist should open and close on this side nicely in time with the arms. Close when it's back, or close when it's to the front, open to the back slightly. And then we'll do the same to the other side. Which again, it should be keyed to the same, not that I remember, just the inverse. So 10, 30, 50, 70. Remember that, because I won't. 10, 30, 50, 70. 10, 30, 50, 70. I'm not going to remember this. We'll start at 7. No, we'll start at 10. 10 is a open fist. Oh yeah, we got to delete our keys. 10, key it. Got to make sure it keys. 30. If I remember this is going to be fantastic. Paste. 30. 50. Open fist. 70. I honestly didn't think I was going to remember that. We all know how my brain is. On a good day, it's bad. Then we'll copy that, make sure it all lines up properly, paste, groovy, groovy, groovy. Delete that shit. And then something still looks off, but I can't tell what it is. Oh, I know what's off. This spine that we didn't do. Oh, I gotta turn the camera speed down. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. I want to say I have it so that it goes. Yeah. So this is the down, or the when you're in the air. The because it's got to look like the spine is driving the movement. So when you're pushing with one, this kind of counter rotates to the back. So when you're going into a run, as you're going up, your chest moves back like this. It's not as notice. I'm exaggerating it, but when you're running, your chest moves up like this, and your back counter rotates. So it kind of makes this motion, right? This is the butt. This is the chest, or the back. This is your upper back, like shoulder blades. Makes kind of like this motion a little bit, just to. It made sense when I watched a video about it. Okay. So the up there, and then the down is going to be, instead of there, it's going to be here, which means that this needs to go. I'm just going to delete everything after this first 2 frames. Otherwise, it's going to get real confusing really fast because this is really tight together. Cut, paste, there. And then the next one is there. This also doesn't look quite right. Oh, wait. Yes, it does. Never mind. Ignore me. It's for a different. It's supposed to look like that. It's supposed to be ugly like that. Okay. And now, the easy part. My favorite part. Paste. Go to here. Paste. Go to here. Paste. Go to here. 4. Copy. Paste. There we go. So now this should look a little bit better. Yeah, the torso looks a lot better now. Because yeah, now it looks like the pelvis is starting the motion and the back's responding to it for the most part. I still have to adjust the feet here, but that we'll get to that in a second. I want to get all the motion synced up properly because the feet are going to be a little bit different. Okay, now to the shoulders. If I remember correctly, I timed these to speed up. I keep scrolling it the wrong way. If I remember correctly, I timed these to be like, this should be up. Actually, up should be right here. I think I have it so it's like 5 frames before the shoulders go up, and then they drop on the way down. Should just be the z-axis. So go ahead and paste this here. And 10 should be down, I think. Oh, I didn't keep, oops. I just keyed 1 and only. Okay. Undo all this, set it back to where it was. I need to go Z there and Z there. Otherwise, it's going to be weird. It's not going to want to work. Paste there. Why does it do that? That pisses me off. And if I shut it off, so it's this one particular setting. It says auto frame curves. I don't know who the fuck programmed this, but clearly not someone who does this, because when I paste something, even though all of the curves, you can see all of these, it zooms in so close to that one. But if you turn it off, if you have like a really high value, so like the root motion and the body offset, if we go here up to the very top, which I think I already did. I don't think I have to do it again. But let's say you have, oh no, I haven't done it all. Let's say you have like, because this is probably going to be like 400 units. That's what it would look like if it with auto frame off, and it won't ever reframe. Because if I do that and reset, it frames it. It won't ever do that. So like you have to have it on, but then it also screws up. Yeah, it's fucking it's a pain in the ass. Sometimes the practices that Epic makes to do some of this stuff doesn't make any sense. Like it's great, the convenience is kind of great, but some of the hiccups are just not there, man. 10, it's going to be down, cut, paste. And then 20 is going to be when these go back up. Copy, paste. See, it does that. It pisses me off. It shouldn't do that. I have all these keys. Don't change it. Just center this. There. That should be the shoulders done. Shoulders should be synced up now. Yeah. They hop up in the motion. Might be a little exaggerated, but that's okay. We can adjust that. So I think they returned to 0 there. So yeah, I think if I just adjust this upper one here. Now key, if you're gonna select and drag these, have your cursor over, have this little playback thing over one of your keys, because then it will always snap and you won't fuck it up. Something like that, I think. Just a subtle up and down movement. Still a little too much, so I'm going to drop it down a little bit more. And I think I'm going to adjust the side to side of the chest, the sway back and forth, so that it gets there before everything else does. So instead of being at 30, it's going to be at 25, and vice versa. It's going to be 5 frames before for everything. Actually, I could just, if it's going to be 5 frames before for all of the keys, I could literally just do this. This is at 10. I just go cut, 5 frames back, paste, and then we can again copy, go to 45, paste. We'll get our final and begin key here, set to linear. Delete everything after that. Copy, paste, and again, since we have weighted tangents, stop doing it. Since we have weighted tangents here, I'm not going to worry here because it's still, I mean, there is change, but it's for the most part flat. So I'm not going to worry about it. But right here, I'm going to switch this to a break and adjust the weighted tangent back. And that should be jog. Yeah, that's better synced up. That looks better. Now, the really fun part, which is just tedious as shit, is figuring out the offset and the root motion. So the goal is to make it so that when a step comes down, which is right there, like 10 frames, frame 10, you can see the Z here is 0. This doesn't move. While the foot's flat, it doesn't slide forward, it doesn't slide backwards. It's stationary on the ground for that duration. It's a lot of trial and error. It's literally going through here, going up to body offsets, the first one you want to do it on, the Y, going to the end. This is the way that I found that works best for me, is just going to the end, like, let's try like 400. We'll see how that looks. And then coming back to the beginning and watching the foot land. You can tell the foot goes back way faster, so it's going to be more than 400, which I didn't want it to be. Okay, we'll do, actually, no, this makes sense because it probably would be 400 at 60 frames. So we'll go 450 because it slid back a lot. It's probably going to be closer to 500 at the end of this, but yeah, maybe 600. Go 600. We'll just see if 600 higher or lower. The way you'll know higher, it needs to go higher, is if you overshoot it, the foot won't slide back, but it'll start to slide forward. The more it slides forward, obviously, is the higher you're off by it. But so let's go to 650 because it's slowing down. Okay, 675 maybe. 675. Ooh, that might be it. Hold on. It does move back just a hair. So we're going to go back to here and up it to, we'll go 680. 680. That might be it. See that? Perfectly locked in place. That's the shindig. So the speed is about 510, which isn't exactly what I wanted it to be. But, and then what you do to do the root motion for it, since it's just a straight, you're running in a straight line, it doesn't matter. Just go here, start over, boom. Now I make this look like I'm going through it real quick, which I am. I mean, it took an hour to get to this point, but well, technically 55 minutes because we're on the starting suit script for 5 minutes or so. But I've been doing this off and on for a year, animating specifically, and I've been pretty much almost completely animating for like 2 months straight. So I'm kind of catching on to things and catching rhythms. So now what we'll do to finish this off, and then this animation will be for the most part done. Actually, first off, we need to test this. I need to apply all these modifiers here, which the modifiers are for the root motion specifically. The hell is this? This is not. Oh, yeah, I do need to finish this animation first. So we'll go here. We'll highlight both of these so we can kind of see the first takeoff is here. So this is where it should start to, the ball should pivot because that's a ball. That's the ball. Definitely not the ground. Right. The ball should pivot. Out like that. And actually the key that's already there works out really well for it. So we'll leave that key there for the next 5 frames. The foot straightens out. And then we'll go to where it lands again, which is right there. That's where we want the counter to be like this. And then over the next couple frames. That doesn't look right. We'll put this here. Actually do it like this. Because I run on the balls of my feet, so. And then we'll have it flatten out again 5 frames before or 5 frames after. No, that's halfway through the. We'll do. So there to the next 2 frames, we'll have it flatten back out. So instead of being keyed to flatten out when the foot lands, it flattens out right after. So then there's still some kind of spring to it. And then once again, we go here to there. And then we can just copy paste this cycle that we've done to here. Copy paste. And then we know the endpoint's got to be on the ball. On the ball. So now if we watch the frame, we'll turn off, or we'll keep root motion turned off right now just because I want to see it in place. Yeah, that looks right. That looks good. I like that. Then we'll do the same thing to the other side, which we can do. Just copy from here. Wait, why is this? This doesn't line up properly. Oh no, I just forgot a key. So 2 frames before this. So there's that. 80, 79 is going to be that. So then, there we go. That looks better. That's correct. And we'll just copy 1 cycle here. Because it's going to be the same timing on the other foot. We just got to figure out where the start point is. So the start point is going to be here at 20. And then we'll go into yeah, yeah, and then paste from here. It should end on that frame. Okay. And then we'll copy paste that. That's fine how it is. There we go. And then we'll delete all these afterwards. Just make sure, because that it doesn't look like it's on the frame, but it is. Okay, now yeah, that looks good. Now we can apply our modifiers, which I'm going to make sure everything says revert. Otherwise, it won't undo it. Was this one sync? Oh, that's the sync markers. That doesn't change. Sync markers, what that does, it hasn't applied them here for some reason. Oh, because root motion's off. Sync markers just tell you when the foot passes the root bone. So this green line here, that's the root bone. So when your foot crosses over that, that's when that is. That's all the foot modifiers are. And basically, you add this animation modifier for the foot markers. I've made a few. These are all the ones that I've made at the top one here. These 4 I've made, which I'm currently using one of them, I think. Yeah, contact left and right. Which I'll explain what that's for in a second. But the sync marker is just one of their default ones, and you just click it. You don't have to change any settings with it. Just click it and apply it. So we'll go ahead and again double check that everything says delete old. And then reapply. That's still messed up. Why is that messed up there? Oh, because it does go up there. It does leave for a second. That's not good. Okay. What is causing that? What are you doing wrong? All right, let's see here. In comparison to this one, or actually, this is the one that's messed up, I think. Right? Which one's the one that's... Yeah, it is. Okay. So then... We'll change this key then to 5 before. We just have to adjust that here to be... I don't think this is going to look right, but we'll try that first. Oh, that looks right. Okay. So then we'll just bring that next, that other, oh, that's 4 before. Right? Let's see. 40, yeah, so 35. Oops. I fucked up there. There we go. Okay. Now we'll just make that same adjustment on the other foot just so that they both are the same ish. I feel like I already did though. It looks like I did. No, I didn't. Okay. And then this one, 60, I believe. Yeah. So then 55. That looks good. And then we'll reapply everything. And that fixes the problem. And the reason why that's important, so if we bring up the, I need to reorganize all this because it's really messed up, and I need to delete stuff that I'm not working on anymore. Bring up this is the motion matching animation, which I've rewritten all of this. This is all basically like one-to-oneing um as best as I could. I'm not done with the code yet because this isn't complete. If you have their gameplay animation sample gasp, I'm basically basing the, I'm taking the code and then learning it so I can use it and then implementing it in my game. But if I go into, I think it's foot placement here. Foot placement is to fix any extra foot sliding that there might be, because sometimes your movement speed might not just be synced up just quite there, and this can dynamically fix that. Or if you're like on a slope, foot placement also replaces the IK. So if you are on a slope, your foot goes up instead of just going straight like the animation does. It adjusts it to go up. But it looks for contact instead of foot speed, because foot speed tracks the entire speed of the ball bone. So there's a lot of inconsistency. There's a lot of wiggle between them. Because like if we go to the animation here, you can see this is the foot speed. You can see it's not. There's a little bit extra speed. This isn't flat on the foot speed up here. This one. And then all contact does is a line of code, which I actually just did today. An animation modifier. It's called foot contacts, and it's all of this. And all it does is it looks at your foot speed here. This is where it does the work. If your foot speed, which is reference value L, is below less than the threshold, which is set to 100, then it just puts the number to 1, which is true. If it's less, it sets it to 0. Or if it's more, it sets it to 0. So it's very much just an on-off. Is it planted or is it not planted? Which just makes it a little bit easier to. You can see here, it's basically on-off. The value is 0 and 1, so there's a lot less wiggle room. It's more precise, so that your foot doesn't slide as much. That's my understanding of it. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll load up the game, walk, which I'll redo the walk as well soon, but just to see, make sure it's even using the animation. However, it doesn't look like we're paced quite right. I think we can slow this down. Go to the player character here. Go to max rock speeds. I'm going to put this at 400, 350. I think this is what I had it at before. 400, 350, and 3. 400, 350, 3. And we'll see, because if it's too fast, the motion matching system won't know to grab the animation. So I'm just trying to see if it'll even grab it. It does grab it. Okay, cool. So I think that should be good. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention whether or not our foot slips or not. It shouldn't really. It looks like where it lands, it kind of sticks. Yeah, once our foot's actually down, it does look like it slips a little bit at the beginning, but that's when we're in the air. Foot hasn't planted. As soon as the foot plants, it looks like it sticks in place. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. And when I use slow motion, the trajectory doesn't line up very well. But you can see there, if I go slower, it can't. Because I implemented my analog speed control, so I can slowly move between speeds. I'll have to make another animation that's the slow. But then if I have, let's see here. Why does that seem like it's too fast again? Hold on a second. I'm trying to get it to update properly. There's definitely some finagling that still needs to be done, and I'm missing a lot of animations. So I was trying to guess at what animation it should be. Like this animation here. I'm missing everything that's not a 180. And obviously I need to work on this more. I expect to like redo all my animations like at least 5 or 6 more times, because as I'm like learning better techniques and better timings and all that, I'm gonna go to full speed because I'm getting tired of waiting. All right, and then make sure that the trajectory is going to go straight forward. We're back in slow motion. Yeah, so as soon as the foot actually plants, it doesn't look like it moves. And this is a good speed. This is 400. It's a little fast for my liking. I kind of wanted it to be like more. Let's do. Let's see if we can drop it down to 350. 3, 250. Let's try that. I doubt this is going to work because I think it's going to be too fast and won't know what to do. Oh, no, it does work. Okay. But do the feet sync up is the problem. They slide. Can't tell because the trajectory is messed up. Trajectory needs a little bit of work because it's not updating properly. Like it doesn't want to. Like I should be going straight, but I think it's something to do with the camera. But I should be going straight, and instead it's going diagonally. I'm not entirely sure what's causing that, but I'll figure it out. But like, see, like what I mean? It's not. It's not doing it properly. It's not doing what I want it to do. No, it looks like once the foot's down, it might slide a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell with it glitching out. Go to this first one again because this is always going to be forward. And then I shouldn't have any problems with the analog speed. Yeah, it's not wanting to. So yeah, I'll have to make another straight animation to go for the slower speed. I'm gonna redo all the directions to match this new animation and timing. Okay. As you saw, it got faster there for a second, and that's just because I forgot to update this one. 350, 300, 250. Ignore the fact that I put 30 there. Actually, let's just see what happens if I put 30. I'm curious. That's side to side, that second value is left and right, strafe. I wonder what happens if I do there and then. Oh no. So slow. I mean, even our walk is faster than that. This is the slowest setting for the walk. This is slow walk. Which again, all these need work, but stuff that I'll work on eventually. Let's see here. What was I doing? Player character 300. And then we'll go ahead and check our strafe animation that we worked on because I'm hoping that it still lines up properly. Yep. Strafe animation still works. Backwards animation weirdly works. But I'll redo that as well soon. I'll redo that to say keep the same pacing as the forward animation, just slower, obviously. So instead of being 80 frames, it might be a cut. Maybe I'll cut it down to 60 frames, maybe 40 frames. Just pace that out a bit slower. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll keep it 80, but I'll just make the steps. I don't know, man. I'll figure it out. But actually this is perfect because that allows me to do this. Don't think I think I have more code than I need to do. Fortunately, I think I have to have the the gaps project open so I can look at it. see what can we work on. Actually, let's keep working on animations. We'll keep working on animations because the next animation that I'm doing as well as a pivot animation, and I'm not very good at it. It's very rough, to say the least. And I'm actually going to have to read this whole beginning part because this is the old run animation that it's built off of, and the old run animations pacing that it's run off of, and its root motion. But it's supposed to be, you stop and then bop bop and then into the strafe animation. It's obviously very rough. This is literally all I've done with it, and then I've realized that I needed to redo some of my animations. So let's go ahead and work on that, why don't we? Because now I really have to redo like this first whole section here. It's gonna have to. I might have to scrap everything after frames 80. No, because that's when does the full strafe start? I think right there is this. This is the strafe animation when it starts. So we'll do this. We'll go ahead and move this out. We're just gonna give us a little bit more space. Move this all out to there, just to get it out of the way, because our new animation that we're about to paste in alone is 80 frames, which is where that one started, and we're going to need transition frames. So we'll go ahead and delete all this. Delete that whole first section. We'll set this back to 0. And then we'll go into the forward run. And then we'll just, wait, what is this frame? What is keyed before the beginning? This one. Why is that keyed before the beginning? Oh, because I never, right. Tee hee, ha ha ha. There we go. Okay. Now that everything's should be in between the bars. Yep. You just copy this. It's gonna be the same animation, so or the same transition. It's the running animation transition to strafing animation, so it's gonna be the same regardless. This her full first section, so we can just paste the original or paste that animation in. Now it's gonna really screw up our root motion offset, which is fine because we're gonna delete it all. We're gonna delete specifically this section here. So then I got to do it on the root too. Delete that. And I do remember that whatever, so when we get to the actual strafe animation, right? When we get into that, wherever that starts, it's 30. So at frame 30, from here on outward, whatever value we end up with, I just have to add 400 in because that, or 420 in. Blazing. Because that's the root motion speed for this is 420. So yeah, there's that. But the reason why I realized, or I had to redo the animation is because I noticed that the hell is this first frame? What's going on with the leg here? Huh? What's going on here? What is it in the run? It should be like 6 or something like that. It should be keyed. Maybe it's just not keyed. If it's not keyed, it'll overwrite, but it should be keyed at 6. It's 5.9. Okay, yeah, it just wasn't keyed. Okay. My keys are important. Make sure everything gets keyed properly. Because if it doesn't have a key, it's going to get overridden. You don't want that. So actually what I could just do, honestly, is just max key everything, max key everything. And that should key everything. Everything should be fine. We'll go ahead and copy and paste all this again. And then save it as well. Back into the jog to left foot forward is what that says. You guys can't see this. I got a solution. So it says player forward jog front to left pivot. That's what I have written here. And actually I need to add in another thing here. Left forward, I think is what this one was. So then it's player forward, jog front to left, left forward, because I think that's the leg that's forward in the pivot animation. Yeah, the left foot is in front for this pivot animation. I'll make another one where the right leg's in front, and they'll be for, in my game, they'll be for different purposes. If you have the camera, because I do want to be able to, sure. I had a panic attack earlier, so I got like a bag of water here. Sure, it's not. It was a bag of ice water, but it's warm enough that it kind of cooled down. Anyways, what I'll do is I'll have a version for each side, which just increases my animation load, but it's going to be worth it for me. I only have to do the strafe ones, left and right. Again, I have to make duplicates of those, but I'll make it so that if you have the camera over your right shoulder, your left foot goes forward, because then you're kind of facing your default facing towards the camera, and when you have the camera over the left shoulder, it'll be right foot forward, so your default facing to the camera either way. I might be able to get away with just mirroring them to get the opposite sides one, but I don't know. We'll see. Mirroring it and then playing a rate of -1. We'll see. Anyways, I need to go back in, delete all these keys. Boom. Oop. Helps if I select what I'm keying. Okay. And then that should fix the problem. Everything should be keyed with a start and a beginning. It is. Perfect. And we got 80 frames, so I'm going to be hijacking the foot placements at frame 80. Or no, I guess it's going to be the next set of frames. So I look here when the leg goes down, because we're not going to have the jump, so the leg can go down quicker than what it does. So instead of being at frame 10, we'll probably have it land at frame 5 after the end, which is 85. Which I'm just going to copy for this left one right now. I'm going to copy. This is a mess. Makes me want to vom. Oh, look, it's better. We're going to copy this one and we'll go at 90. We'll say it's there. Because this step will actually bring it up. So it's going to be actually here. Because we want it to be out, and then we'll also adjust the X so that the X is where we have this first thing, I think. No, because the next couple frames, so like from here, I think the whole transition section is only going to be maybe 10 frames. So from, I'm trying to remember, because I timed out their transition animation, their pivot animation, the same animation that I'm doing. And I want to say like their whole like the two steps was a total of 10 frames. For me, it's going to be like 15, 20 frames because I'm at double the frame rate, just because I like 60 frames per second. Didn't have to be. I kind of feel like I've shot myself in the foot sometimes, but I like having extra frames to make adjustments if I need to, and it not look like it's going one frame to the next, which was the reason why I switched to 60. All right, let me have some of my non-branded soda. I have to remember to hydrate. I haven't been eating my popcorn very much. I have a bit of a snack here. Okay. Okay. So this foot lands here. Next foot needs to land. If this lands at 90, next foot needs to land at 100. We'll give it 10 frames. So we'll say this one at the Y is here. Actually, needs to be here. And then the X is going to be there, I think. Yeah, I think that's. Then by the time this lands here, it should be like full stride at this point. So this one's X is going to be there as well. Oop. And also it's going to be, the Y is going to be here. So then it's boop, and then it starts in. This allows us to have, we should have enough room to have one more step. Let's see here. I'm trying to look at the pacing of these steps. So every stride or every on ground is 15 frames, if I remember correctly. 50, 30, yeah, every on the ground movement. So when it's planted, every plant, I should just be using that. Every plant is 15 frames. So that should allow me from here, because this is going to be the one that's planted. This one's going to lift and go to the other side. That should allow me to go here to, because it's going to be the same speed-ish. It's going to be a little bit different because these first couple steps as we transition to the pivot has a jump like the run does. You know, you hop, you know, you're in the air more than your feet are on the ground. But with the transition, because I'm gonna drop the waist down, so it's like you're dropping down into the motion as you're stopping and moving to the side. The feet are going to be on the ground at the same time. They're not going to. There's not going to be a jump. They're going to be on the same ground on the ground at the same time. So the root motion is going to be different from here to the this whole 15 frames step from 100 to 115. Which, since I know that, I can just go to 115, and the stride is going to be the same though, but it's just not going to take back off again. But if I do this right, I should be able to, because then it's from here, this point to here is another 15 frames, I think. Yeah, another 15 frames. So 115 to here, that will work. That's going to be perfectly. We just have to make sure that, because like this 5 frames, this is 5 frames here from, I think, 45 to 50. Or, let's see, 50 to 55. That's 5 frames. That's the hop with the strafe animation. So the plants are a lot longer than the run, and the hop isn't as large with the run, but you're moving sideways. So you wouldn't want to be hopping too much. You want to kind of keep on the ground a little bit more than a normal run. So at 15 frames, we'll copy this one. Actually, we'll copy both of these. And we'll go into pitch, because it's going to be, we might as well just make it accurate. So then it just, this smooths back into this. Oh, it didn't copy this one at all. There we go. So then I got that movement. And then here, we'll copy this one at 100. Just because that's going to be the, since we don't have that hop, there's not going to be that change here. Anyways, makes sense in my head. Trust me. Makes sense in my head. That's all that matters. So then there's our step. That's the first stride. This one has to do the same path from 100 to 115. It has to make to here. This one. Like that. Because then this timing's the same. So these two steps are going to be a bit quicker. Either quicker or slower. I think a little bit slower, actually. Because it's happening over... It's a longer path over the same amount of time. So I think it's going to be a bit faster. But they don't... There's no jump. They happen at the exact same time. There's no jump. And then it goes directly into the hop. The actual run. So let's look at this so far. Perfect. I just want to make sure that, like, this needs to be quite a ways out. The Y needs to be quite a ways in front. Let's look at the Z. So Z needs to be zeroed here, I think. Right? Yeah. Z needs to be set to 0 here. It's landing. It's landed at this point. So from here, we'll just cut that one out real quick. Boom. Landed. And then the next one needs to be up. take a look at the Z here. I think we're going to want it to be this one. I think that's timed properly. No, it's not timed properly. But this is probably about, because you got to think this whole time we're in the air. Bop, bop, and then we bop, bop, land, doot, land, and then move. So I think if we go back 5 frames. So 90. Let's see how that. Oh, I need to open. I actually need to open it this time. Also, because this isn't like the default behavior where I save it and it automatically updates the animation. If you're doing an animation, you need to create this first option here. I'll move myself again. This first option here says create linked animation sequence. You need to make that because that enables it. So if I make a change here and I hit save, it saves it in the animation. You don't have to rebake it over and over and over again. I didn't know that for the longest time. And then I can just open the linked animation sequence and watch it. Obviously, I have a bunch of stuff already here from the last time I did it. But turn off root motion here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just go offline. Yeah. All right. So we go. So if we watch it back at 1 time speed, this is how we can get an idea of this if this is the framing which we want, and I think it is. Yeah, because we want this transition here to be just like a split second. You're just quickly adjusting your feet. Obviously, I'll have to. This is for the post search stuff. So this one blocks the post search from choosing that as the beginning of this animation, the first frame. Because post searches look for individual poses instead of like a full animation, so it can link up smoother. So like if you got one frame from this animation that works really well, based on your trajectory, the next frame from a different animation works, it can just link those together really well. This notify here just blocks it from picking any of these frames, which we will adjust once we actually have it done, because obviously we'll want it to use these frames here where it's doing the actual transition steps. That's where this will probably go here. But I think that looks. We'll start here again. And the reason why it's moving forward is because it's got the bottom. If you don't have root motion plugged in, which actually I need to delete this key because that just should stay constant here like that. That actually should fix the problem. Just make sure it's doing that here. Okay. It shouldn't go forward now. Yeah. There we go. Now it's staying in place. Yeah, that should be a good transition. And then we'll adjust like the posture and all that to match it better. We'll like drop the hips down, and obviously we'll finish the feet. I've been animating since probably like 9 today. It's currently 5 o'clock. I think we're gonna finish the feet on this first on the transition pose, and then I think that's probably what we'll call it for the night. And then I probably won't do any more tonight because I'm kind of getting tired.
Getting a little tired, a little sleepy.
But I'm making good progress here. A lot faster. I'll tell you what, it's coming together a lot faster this time than I did the first time that I did this. Because it took me when I made the first pivot transition, which didn't work the way I wanted it to. Um, it took me like 2 days just to get to where we are now, where we are right now. And granted, and that was after I made the animations. Like after both animations that it's transitioning to were made, it took me like 2 days to figure this part out, and sync it all up right, and get to this point to where this looks smoother than my first attempt right off the bat. So the fact that I was able to crank out this part so far and finish the running animation today is quite nice. Quite nice. Quite a boost of confidence. So if we look, I don't want to look at the ball yet, I don't think. Look at the here. So this should be I look at the because now we're on the X axis. That's where this here should be. So we'll copy this, put it back on the pitch there. Wait, did I do that wrong? I did do that wrong. It should be this one. This should be here. Okay. This frame should be here. And then at 100, it should be there. I will say, to be fair, though, a lot of the hard work is already done with the animation, which is probably why I've been able to crank it out to this point. Like, I already did all the trial and error shit. So, boop. Boop. And then from I think from what are you doing? What are you attacking on my table right now? Like, there's nothing there. I cleared it off so you can hop up. He tried to hop up on this table earlier, and I had papers on here because I was looking through some stuff. And he scared himself. He like hopped up, wasn't expecting that, and like freaked out and fell off the table. Like, whoa, it scared the fuck out of me. It's so loud. Hey, don't chew on that. No! What are you doing? Are you trying to leak water everywhere? You bit holes into this. That's what you've been doing, you little shit. No, 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 no. Wanna fight? Wanna fight? Wanna go? Huh? Wanna go? Where were we? Okay, the up and down, which I should be able to. I should be able to copy from this one because it's basically the same path. That should be timed right. Or not. Yeah, it's way off. Okay. So it needs to go 5 frames back. There we go. So then that should be Whoop gets placed and then gets up and moves. Ooh, why does it jump like that? Because I have it placed so it would jump like that. Dummy. I think this is broken, but I'm going to check it just in case. Because I want it to be this first one to be like that. So it's a smooth arc. Are you trying to fight me right now? That's what I thought. Okay. And then I want like that roughly. And then that should. Yep. And then we'll go back here and we'll also put the I think it's at 100 is the, yeah. At 100, again, we'll do the same thing. This same key. We'll go 5 before. Set that to 0. This actually should be. I think right about there should be fine. What's the gap between here? Like 3 frames. Okay. And then from 5 frames back. Okay, so that's correct. So this needs to be here. This needs to be the same key here. There we go. And then we need to adjust the. I think it's the roll. Yeah, roll. It needs to be 0 at this point. Now it's going to look stretched right now, and that's just because I literally haven't done the torso yet. But once we get the hips to drop, because right now it's like trying to reach this target here. Once the hips drop, it'll be able to reach it, but right now it can't. I'm going to set this one to 0 and see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks better, I think. This is relatively in front, so the foot shouldn't be slanted too much. And boom, 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 and then now the actual real animation. Okay. We'll do. Ironically, I'm going to put this one here. Yeah, that's definitely what I meant to do. And that's not synced up right. One of the up is messed up as well. Actually, it should be going about this wrong. This should be like this. Because then that syncs all this up. Actually, this needs to be this one. That's wrong. Okay, so this needs to go back 5 frames. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, 5 frames from here. And then that leads into the strafe animation. So let's go ahead and save that. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, for right now, I think that's good. For tonight, that's a good stopping point. I think, yeah, I think that'll be a good stopping point. Let's go ahead and do that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this different type of stream. If you guys want to see more of this, I'm more than happy to stream a little bit more game development. It'll probably be more animating because I got so many animations. I haven't even done my vault animations. I haven't done any of that stuff. That's gonna be figuring that out. It's gonna be a nightmare. Anyways, if you made it this far in the stream, whether here on Twitch, watch it back on YouTube, you're absolutely amazing. I love you with all my heart. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on in the community, what the hell happened? What is? The frame got messed up for my camera. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on in the community, join the Discord. Link to the which is in the about section down below if you're here on Twitch, or if you're on Twitch, you can type in !Discord !Socials, all lowercase. Discord gives a link to the Discord. Socials gives a link to the campsite that also has a link to the Discord. Link to the Discord in it. I can't talk. My ability to talk is waning. If you're here on the YouTube side of things, it's in the description down below. We'll be back Thursday, I believe. Mad, I think we're doing more Enshrouded. I don't remember if we talked about anything. I don't think we changed the schedule this week. If we did, I'll let you guys know in the Discord. But we'll be back Thursday with more Enshrouded. And then hopefully Saturday we'll have a Metal Gear Solid 5 stream. Or we might play something different. I'm kind of feeling a little horror gamey right now. So I'm thinking maybe we might do like Resident Evil or something. Because I have the remake that I just got for Christmas of the first game. We might play that. I haven't played the remake yet. I played like, you guys remember on the Super Nintendo, or not the Super Nintendo, the DS, Nintendo DS. They made a version of the original Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil Deadly Silence is what it was called, or Resident Evil DS for short. They found a way to Shanghai that in there. I don't know how, but so I have played that, but I haven't played the remake yet. So we might do that Saturday instead of Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm just trying to think of what sounds good right now. Nothing really sounds good. It's one of those times. Anyways, I could ramble about that forever. I think that's everything. I love you all. And with that being said, until next time.